I think that given the policy issue and the fact that policy implementation is a problem, then it falls to communities to really act quickly and to try and put measures in place so that they can adapt to the impacts of climate change. And there's a lot that communities can do. Communities in rural areas are becoming increasingly aware of the climate change issues, and I think one good thing that's happening is that through the Meteorological Services Department and through bodies such as the Agricultural Extension Department, communities and farmers are being told of impending crises that are likely to impact them. One good example is the El Nino that Zimbabwe is being affected by this year. And we know that historically El Ninos tend to mean that we're going to get very low rainfall, we're going to get very serious drought conditions and heat wave conditions. And this is really going to impact farmers and the rural communities in which they live. So there are lots of things that farmers can do to prepare for these issues. And this is where communities really also need to tap into their indigenous knowledge systems. So one very positive thing that I've noticed in Zimbabwe in the last few years is that people are recognizing and acknowledging the value of indigenous knowledge. It's something that has been forgotten and been downplayed because of colonialism, which the colonial settlers and the colonial authorities really didn't see indigenous knowledge as being important, and it got taken out of our educational system, and communities were encouraged to see it as something that's primitive. What scientists and the local authorities and the national authorities are realizing now is that indigenous knowledge plays a crucial role in adapting to climate change. For example, indigenous crop varieties which were very drought tolerant, which were able to cope with stresses of dry periods during the rainy season. They were able to cope with heat and pest and disease attacks, which are also something which increases due to climate change. So it's very important that communities start to document and collect and save the seeds of their indigenous crop varieties so that these varieties can be used in order to address drought problems, rather than people just being dependent on hybrid crop varieties which are sold in the shops. And women play a very, very important role in this. Women traditionally are the custodians of seeds in a community. And for thousands of years, Zimbabwean women have been saving seeds, they've been sharing seeds with others in their communities, they've been selecting varieties. And luckily, even though colonialism had such a powerful impact in this country, a lot of those farmer-led seed systems are still surviving. So last year and in previous years, scientists have published and publicized research that they've been doing on farmer-led seed systems in Zimbabwe. And in fact, next week there is going to be a seed and food festival in Harare where farmers will be coming to exchange seeds and to showcase the different varieties that they've been collecting. And most of these farmers are women. So instead of just seeing women as victims of climate change, we can see women as custodians of indigenous knowledge, as disseminators of indigenous knowledge. And women can be very powerful in the fight against climate change.